Welcome to the DL, the podcast show that talks about everything to do with truck repair and diagnostics for the heavy truck and construction industry. I am your host, Tyler Robertson, CEO and founder of Diesel Laptops. Hello everyone, this is Tyler Robertson, your host of the DL show. I am here today with a gentleman from TEXA. So Dario, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about TEXA and who the heck TEXA is and what you guys do.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me here. It's awesome. So I'm Dario. I'm the general manager of TEXA USA. TEXA USA is the North American branch of TEXA. So TEXA is a European company. We're based in Italy. And what we do is diagnostics. That's what we do best. That's our core business. So the company was founded in 1992. So we are young, 27 years old. That's not a lot. But if you think about diagnostics, that is a lot.
Yep, absolutely.
Because ECUs were introduced those days. Yep. And then the company branched out to different things. So AC recovery machines, telematics, scopes, everything that is going to be in the shop. Then it started, everything got bigger and bigger. They opened up branches.
So let's talk about a couple of them. So the diagnostic side, what modules do you guys have? What do you cover for diagnostics?
Yes, the nice thing about TEXA is that we cover a lot.
Yeah.
And that's not... I'm not lying. We cover everything that's got an ECU. So we go from trucks and off highway, which is what we do with you guys, but also marine. But the marine software is excellent. Outboard, inboard engines, jet skis. And then we have the motorcycle software. So quads, off-road stuff, motorcycles. We have some great OE partnerships in the motorcycle side of our business. And then, of course, cars. Car software was the very first one, 1992. It was just cars.
So you're an Italian company. So when I think Italian, yes. I'm thinking like, fancy purses and clothing and motorcycles and, what are the, I'm not a big auto guy, but, the big fancy cars, the Maseratis and Porsches. Is the auto side more focused on those supercars and those high-end stuff, or is it everything?
Well,
or where do you guys play there?
Yeah, our car software was more into European cars up until now. Actually, in the last year, we worked a lot on local cars, Asian cars. So now TEXA is also an option for guys working on Chevys and local cars.
The common everyday
absolutely.
stuff. Yeah. So I got involved with TEXA about 4 years ago. So I'm going to tell the story just because it's crazy how my company got founded, because there's really pivotal moments here that if they didn't happen, I'm not sitting here today. Diesel Laptops never exists to what it is today. So, the quick story here is I quit my job 4.5 years ago. I'm decided to go to this trade show for ISN. They're a distributor for tools down in Orlando. So I go to this show. I go down there to the show, and I'm just kind of hanging out at one of the little kiosk stations. There's this magazine there, and I don't remember if it was P10 or who it was, but it's a diagnostic tool review. I'm like, oh, cool. That's the stuff I'm doing. So I quit my job to do was sell diagnostic tools. Let me see who's in here. And I open it up, and there's this company called TEXA. I'm like, who the hell's TEXA? Like, I don't even know who these guys are, right? I just kind of dismiss it. And I go through the show and go through life. And about 2 months later, I'm talking to one of my good customers that's been buying OEM software from me and some aftermarket stuff. His name's Brian. He's at a North Texas Fleet. I remember the name of the company still. And he goes, hey, have you heard of this company called TEXA? And I'm like, well, shit. Now I've seen this name 2 times. I got to check this out. I got to figure it out. So I go, I call a couple distributors and dealers, and I start talking to them, and they're telling me how great the tool is. And then I'm like, okay, well, I heard this song and dance with Bosch, and Bosch told me the same thing, and customers got it, and it didn't do what they promised it would do. And this is the same spiel I'm hearing from some of the dealers. Mm-hmm. So then I go talk to, I email TEXA USA, and I'm like, hey, I'm interested. And they get a hold of me, and they tell me how great the tool is. And I'm like, dude, I heard this story 6 months ago.
Same
Speech. It was like almost verbatim from the Bosch guy. Yeah. And that was a disaster. So I'm like, I will buy this tool, and I will test it out. but if it doesn't do what you told me it was going to do, you're taking it back. Like, I want a full refund. And he's like, no problem.
Challenge, accepted.
Yep, cool. So I get it. I go through the installation procedure. I do all that. And he had specifically told me, call me before you go out there so I can kind of explain some things to you. But I'm like, I don't need this help, man. I'm selling diagnostic tools. I was a service manager. I know what I'm doing here. And I went out in the shop and it didn't connect to a damn thing. So I call him up. I'm all pissed. I'm like, dude, I want my money back. This wasn't cheap. You lied to me. Give me my refund. And his name was Lee, right? So to Lee's credit, he talked me off the ledge. And he's like, look, just go back out there. You know, I did tell you to call me first. There's some things you need to know on how it works. And I go back out there and I walked away and I was like, holy shit. This is by far the best diagnostic tool I have ever seen in my life. But there was a couple little nuances there. And I think it's like any other software. There's a little bit of a learning curve that you go through to learn those things. And I know you guys did update the interface and everything after that, but it was a cool story to me, because if I didn't see you guys in that magazine or have those conversations, or if Lee never talked me off that edge, I'm probably still in my garage and my dining room table just doing my thing, and my business goes a whole direction, and the hundreds of employees we have aren't working here. So it's crazy, those little pivotal moments like that can really change your life. But going back to the software, is that something you guys do a lot? Do you guys go through and do you update the interface a lot and try to change things? And how do you guys do improvement? How often do you guys do updates to the software? Because it's a changing world with diagnostics. There's a lot of new models out there, new cars and new everything. How do you keep up with that? How does that work at TEXA?
Well, that's the challenge. So having the latest and greatest, it's a challenge. So and a lot changes like super quick. It's an industry that it's old and mature, but at the same time, there's innovation every 2-3 days. So we have to keep up with these technologies. So we have, TEXA's got overall more than 700 employees all over the world.
Yeah.
More or less 500 of these employees are based in Italy at the headquarters.
Okay.
That's where we develop the software. So software developers are more or less, I don't know the exact numbers, but at least half of these guys are technical guys. So software developers, testers. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of energies and resources to have a good software. So it's a constant improvement. The software you saw 4 years ago, 5 years ago, has changed dramatically in terms of coverage. So it's a challenge. And now we are releasing software updates on a weekly basis, minor updates, and then we also release patches to fix bugs, because technology is complex. So whenever there's a problem, we are able to address it right away and fix it. I'm not gonna say that we can fix it in 2 hours. It might take 2 weeks, but we have that level of commitment, and we write our own software, so we're not depending on anyone else. Everything is in-house. That's the good thing about TEXA.
So I have one of your TEXA boxes here, and I've seen a lot of different boxes over the years, right? Like, I think that Nexic one I could probably break with my hands apart. This thing, man, when I think of Italian engineering, man, this is like, you guys are hitting it here. Like, this thing is durable and
it's solid.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And the crazy thing is this one box works with everything, right?
Everything.
Automotive, every off-highway, every boat, every commercial truck, every jet ski. That just blows my mind that you guys are able to do that with one box. And all that. So again, high quality Italian engineering looks like it's going into this stuff.
Yes. When I show our tools to people, I always say, okay, this is the box. This is aluminum. It's not cheap plastic. Literally, you can kill someone with it. And they laugh. But it's kind of true. It is solid. It was built to last. The same thing for our tablet. So we are known for quality.
Yeah. No, I mean, that goes right in line with what I think Italian engineering is known for, is that high quality, sleek looking stuff. Even when it comes to diagnostics, which you wouldn't expect.
And the fact that with this guy, you can work on different kind of machines is amazing. Then, of course, we have a different VCI, as you know, for bikes and boats.
Yep.
Smaller, plastic, more like convenient also to use around bikes.
Yep.
But the TXT potentially can work on everything.
Yeah, no, it's mind-boggling what you guys are able to do with your one software platform, one hardware platform.
And the mix and match is appreciated because you have your track guys also working on excavators. So you can have track and off-highway together. But those guys, they also have ATVs, UTVs. So you can add also the bike software to work on Polaris or, that kind of stuff.
We had a client that had literally, he said his mobile trucks, his guys out there had 8 laptops with 8 different adapters for off-highway diagnostics. They literally built like these little storage units on their truck to haul all that stuff. And it was a constant pain because he goes, we have 8 laptops that have 8 times the issues. They're trying to keep different licenses updated, different software updated. And 5 or 6 years ago, multi-brand diagnostics on one tool, one platform didn't really exist in the US, right?
Yes.
Like this is a newer thing that people don't realize. I think in the truck market, people know now there's multi-brand tools. But when we talk to people in the off-highway world or the marine world, and you say, oh, there's one tool with one software that can do virtually everything your OEM software can do. And by the way, the renewal licenses aren't required. It's not a paperweight. It's not an ongoing expense you have to buy.
Yes.
Highly recommended you do, of course, so you can get those updates and support. It's just truly amazing. So talking about amazing, in my hands here, I have your Axoni tablet. So this thing is unlike any tablet I've ever seen before. Can you kind of tell me some of the features and a little bit about this guy and show me how this piece comes off here, I guess?
Yes,
too? It's like
absolutely. This is a very nice piece of engineering, actually. So this is made by us.
Italian-made tablet.
Italian-made tablet.
Not some Chinese tablet that's coming overseas. All right.
And it was made to work with our software. So this is the best you can get. 12 inches, so big screen, Gorilla Glass, really hard to break. You really have to put an effort to break this guy. But still, it's a Windows open software. So you have this
magnetic. Is it like a magnetic attachment port that goes on it that holds USBs?
You put it on.
Is there other attachments you can get for these things?
No, here you do everything with the USBs.
Okay.
So the important fact about being an open software is that you can also load different kind of stuff in this tablet. So it's not just TEXA. You can buy it and you can also run the shop software or additional technical information. It's we are very flexible with everything that we do. So the BCI can do boats and trucks at the same time. Same idea applies here. So it's an open Windows tablet.
I mean, this tablet like floats on water and it's dust proof and
it is water resistant. It's shock proof. It's really hard to break it. And we won some innovation awards. Microsoft got in touch with us.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's really
What did Microsoft want? Did they know you were? Did you guys work with them to say we're doing
we worked
this?
with them.
Okay, good,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's like I said, I knew you guys won the award for this thing. It is an unbelievable tablet. Obviously, like anything well made and Italian engineering, it's definitely not cheap.
No.
But it is definitely worth paying the money for that person that wants a tablet that's going to be rugged and last forever. So very high quality made. Obviously TEXA is a big part of what we do here at Diesel Laptops. I mean, I really feel that without TEXA, Diesel Laptops is nowhere near where it is today, right? So obviously I really appreciate everything you guys have done for us and Diesel Laptops. We've been working with you guys for a lot of the years. And I know we got a lot of big things cooking, and you have other things here in the US too. Do you want to talk a little bit about eTruck and what that is and where you're going with it?
There's a lot going on actually at TEXA USA because TEXA in Italy, in Europe, all over the world, they branched out to different products. Here in the US, we started with track diagnostics back in the days, and then we are focusing more on everything else. So we're going to bring the AC machines on the car side, on the automotive side, the ADAS calibration targets for cameras and radars. That's going to be interesting. eTruck is, when they first told me about eTruck, I was like, seriously? We can do that? Are you sure we guys can do it? So eTruck is basically an extension to IDC5, and it's a remote diagnostics. So until now, remote diagnostic was just read. You could read parameters. You could read codes. Now with eTruck, you can read, but you can also do stuff. So you can force regen remotely. So we are here in South Carolina, and one of your trucks is in Nevada, and it's stuck on D-rate. So that's a problem. What are you going to do? So you got to tow the truck. You have to ask for someone to go there. It's going to be a lot of money. With eTruck, with this dongle, you can remote in through the driver's cell phone, and you, Tyler, from here, from South Carolina, you can force regen remotely. So you can force it. Of course, the truck is going to go out of the D-rate mode, and it's going to be back on the street. And you know that a truck that is not running is a truck that is not making money.
Yep.
So that cuts the cost dramatically.
So I've already bought my TEXA unit. I can buy one of these eTruck modules, the physical hardware that I install in the truck, and they're not too terribly expensive, right? For one of them, it's I can't remember the
300 and something if you buy just one.
You buy one adapter, and you can buy them in 5 packs and 25 packs to get the price down.
Yes.
Yeah. So you buy one of these eTrucks. I'm a fleet. I go put them in my trucks, and I can actually monitor my trucks in real time.
Yes.
And see what they got going on, what codes they have. Like you said, I can do that DPF regen on it while it's parked on the side of the road if needed. Is there other commands?
You can change speed limiters.
Okay.
So you are going to a different state with different speed limits. Yep. You can either increase it or decrease it. And then you can check whatever is going on with the truck. You can schedule maintenance activities. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah. I mean, do you see that tool working outside? I mean, you guys do other modules, marine, off-highway, automotive, all that. Do you see it eventually getting into those other markets as well?
Yes, absolutely. The idea is groundbreaking, but actually, I can tell you it's going to be applied also to different environments. So, for example, on the off-highway world, we have the same problem, DPF filters.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, they're great for the environment, right?
Yeah.
We're not saying they're a problem, but in some ways they are. So eTruck can also work on the off-highway side.
So here's what I always tell people about the EPA. I am definitely not a fan of the EPA. I think they're overly restrictive. I think they really tie a lot of companies' hands, behind their back. But they really built my company for me. Right?
Exactly.
Right? They created a lot of problems that everybody's seeing across a lot of industries now.
That's the reason why we sell scan tools, right?
It is.
To force
it really
reason.
is. It really is. It's crazy when you think about how much the government. I've always said before this, the government, their decisions don't impact my life. But at the end of the day, that decision they made years ago for all this emission control really impacted my life and for the good. So I just hope there's not someone out there that it impacted for the bad, in reverse. But no, you guys make some great tools. Your TEXA truck and off-highway stuff, we're nearing. I mean, I think in a couple months we'll hit 10,000 units sold of that. And I know we talk to customers all the time that love the product. We obviously put a lot of things around it to support it, and live humans to talk to, and diesel techs and repair information and training classes. And I think it just fits really, really well together.
Yes.
With TEXA. So here's one of the questions people always ask me. When I first started this, I told them I was going to go sell diagnostic tools. They're like, hey, we don't think, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do once everybody has one? Or how many diagnostic tools can you really sell? To me, it seems like a huge market. Would you agree that it's a pretty big market out there for people needing this kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
Right. And I don't think it's shrinking. I think when you start looking at truck, off-highway, I've asked this question to other people. I'll ask you, what's the bigger market? All right. Is it on-highway diesel trucks? Is it off-highway diesel engines? Or is it pickup trucks with diesels in them? What's the bigger market there when you look at those three, in your opinion?
On highway, well, off highway, I would say maybe.
I agree with you.
Off highway.
When you start opening your eyes to how much off-highway equipment there is out there, I was just down in the lunchroom yesterday watching a little documentary they had going on TV about farming, and they showed a guy with a farm tractor, then they showed him with his
construction too, and mining and.
I went to the airport the other day, and it was a diesel truck that filled up to put fuel in the airplane. It was a diesel truck that rolled up with the steps coming down it. But those little tuggers they have coming around, those have diagnostics on them. It's just a huge world that I don't think people realize how big it is. And I just had someone else visiting us from TEXA, David,
Yes.
and he was showing us some of the stuff they're putting ECMs on now, and I couldn't believe it. Like,
Yes.
he was showing us chainsaws are getting ECMs on them. Who
same
saw that one coming?
I had the same reaction. I was like, seriously? Yes, it is true. There's an ECM on many different things, and if we just move away from diesel for a second, if you look at motorcycles, and you guys do some bikes too. Motorcycles are getting as complex as cars, as trucks, maybe even more than trucks. Because a high-end motorcycle like a BMW or Ducati, Harley Davidson, they might have 10, 15 different ECUs.
Wow, I had no idea there was that many on a motorcycle.
Yes, absolutely. The brakes and the transmission and, of course, the engine and then
immobilizer
and then the dashboard and then there's a lot.
Yeah.
So with vehicles getting complex, of course, there's a need for diagnostics, and it's not gonna get smaller. It's the opposite.
What I always tell people is, people always ask me that question, like, how many diagnostic tools can you sell? And I always say, well, do you think trucks are going to get more complicated or less complicated? Right? More electronics or less? There's going to be more on them as things go that way. So you start asking those kind of probing questions like that, and people really quickly realize, like, there's a lot of people out there that have a need. And part of the problem in the industry is the dealers, the manufacturers, they provide information to their dealers on how to fix all these things and give them training classes and tools. But what's the guy do that has a fleet and he's or an independent repair shop?
Yeah.
Like, what resources does he actually get access to fix these things? And that's where Diesel Laptop steps in partnership with TEXA to say, here's the tool, here's the training, here's the support, here's the service repair information, and we try to give you a complete package for these places. So, but anyway, you guys make a great product over at TEXA.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very, very much for coming on the show. Any parting words or last things you'd like to say about TEXA that we didn't cover?
Well, I would only say that the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's going to get bigger. So this is just the beginning, actually. So I think it's a long-term commitment for us here in the US and Canada, and all over the world, actually, because TEXA is worldwide. So there's a lot to do. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, hey, we say the same thing here at Diesel Laptops. There's a lot of runway ahead of us. There's a lot of potential out there in the marketplace. And I think once people start thinking at things differently and looking at problems differently, like TEXA does, all of a sudden you realize how much opportunity there is.
Yes.
So again, Dario, thank you very much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Love to shake your hand here. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you, man.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.